Welcome back to another episode of the Everything About Everything podcast. Today I got two guests. I got my boy Josh.
Yo.
I got my boy Ro.
Yo.
Today we're going to cover a couple of different things. You know how this usually goes. You've been here for a while. But I want you guys to kind of start off by introducing yourselves, and we'll go from there.
I'm Josh. I'm a forward. I play here at Eastern. I'm from New Jersey, Cherry Hill. That's pretty much it.
I'm Ro. I'm a forward, starting forward for next year. From Miami, Florida. For me, I go to Eastern. Yeah.
Shit, hold on. Anyways, what I wanted to start talking about you guys with is, obviously you guys are freshmen. If you don't know, we all go to Eastern, like they said. We just won the MAC chip this year, first time in school history. We made it to the second round of the NCAA tournament, so pretty good year for us. These guys are freshmen, like they said, but obviously they played behind a couple of guys that are really, really good basketball players. So they might not gotten the, They might not gotten the time they wanted. So I wanted to ask you guys, as freshmen as well, is like, what's been the difference for you guys coming from like high school to college and playing basketball? Like, what's the difference between high school, college basketball that you guys have noticed?
I've read their mindset. Like your mindset is like completely different. It's like the way like I could literally in high school I could use the same move 1,000 times, nobody stopping it. College, you use it one time, boom, everybody on it. It's like the mindset is different. It's crazy.
I feel like for me, the biggest adjustment was probably the speed of the game, because I feel like, at least at the beginning of the year, like even practices, it was crazy for some, like everything, like you sprint to everything. You even like when I played in the first scrimmage, like you put like a cool minute or two and you're gassed, like nothing. Like I used to play the whole game in high school, nothing compared to how it was now. So yeah, that.
I'm up there, like the speed was an adjustment, but that comes. I feel like that's college. That comes with conditioning, whatever. But
also, I feel like another thing is like people in college, especially like players like that played for a while, like you, Boog, Kay, like older guys. I feel like y'all just go, and I feel like in high school it wasn't really like that. I mean, you have some players who do that, but like everybody in college can get a bucket, so it's kind of hard sometimes for you to like, for example, in practice, like we have like the white team, the scout team, and I'm not gonna lie, there's been some times where I've been like low key, like it's kind of crazy, just like Drew, who's on our team, like he'll do some like not even crazy, he'll do like an in and out cross, tween, spin move, lose the ball, get it back, and then hit like a bank shot. Something like that.
Bro, I don't know if that's basketball or that's just Drew,
no,
bro.
Drew is on some.
Yeah.
But like it's everybody's dime too, like, and mind you, these are guys who don't play and they're doing like all like crazy stuff.
Like,
I know myself, I can get a bucket too. He can get a bucket too. I feel like everybody on our team, top to bottom, is like good at basketball, and I feel like I never had that, because in high school you always had one or two guys on the team who were just like, not saying they were washed, but like they were just there to be there.
They we don't have no like real cones. Like we have people that's like, yo, like you gotta hoop every day.
But like, yeah.
All right.
Yeah, we had a saying this year was what was it? It was like R17 is better than your 5 or something like that.
They're 10.
R10 is better than your 5, something like that. But like that just shows you like everybody in college, like no matter where you go, it's gonna be hoopers there. But I think one thing you guys didn't bring up that I noticed from coming to college myself is like the strength difference. Like when I was in high school, I honestly didn't have a problem with being like kind of like skinny.
Yeah.
I mean, I still am a little bit, but I've gotten 100 times stronger than probably I was in high school. But that was the biggest adjustment for me. I don't think it was necessarily the speed of the game, but I also feel like my year, I came in when it was COVID, so it was kind of weird. We basically practiced for the whole entire season, and we played like, I think it was like 11 games, and it was kind of weird because we would play back to back, So we play like, say, we played like Alvernia or something. We would play Alvernia on Friday, and then we play them on Saturday, and then we have a game next week, and we play another team Friday and then Saturday. So we play back to back, and then, so that was only from like February to like March. So that was like a month, and then the whole rest of the time we were practicing. So from like we got on campus to the time the season started, we were just basically practicing. So I think it was easier for me to adjust. And then plus, when I came in, obviously I went to a different school than you guys my freshman year, my last 3 years, but I actually had a great opportunity to kind of get a lot of playing time as well. So it kind of helped me, like, I guess, adjust to the college game more than probably a lot of freshmen had the chance to. So I'm grateful for that. And then obviously, look where we are now. So
I feel like, going off what you said, like, it's not really a strength thing. I feel like it's more a physicality thing, because a lot of the times, like, for example, who's a perfect example? Like, you could say, not Zoo, like Davin. He's a perfect example, because Davin is not necessarily the strongest or most athletic, but, like, he can take a hit, though. Yeah. And that's what allows him to play. It's not necessarily like that he's, like, strong or anything.
I mean, sometimes I feel like it's from where you're from. Like, Jersey, I don't know how they played in Jersey. Maybe it's, like, not as physical. But
it honestly depends on your league, though, because, like, refs, like, especially because I was a shot blocker in high school.
Yeah.
Like, they'll call anything. Yeah. Like, if I touch you, if I do, like, I don't want to say it's, like, particularly because I was tall and, like, I was athletic. Yeah. But, like, every single time I touch somebody, like, the way, like, let's say a hand check, or, like, they go up and I skim their hand on the shot, like, it's a foul call. So,
yeah. Like, in Miami, it's, like, we known, like, for being athletic and being dogs, you know what I'm saying? Because really and truly, Miami, like, come on now. Tell me I'm lying.
I don't know. I never played in Miami, bro.
Like, Miami, we breed football players. So that's, like, what you get on the court as well. So it's, like, us being physical.
My fault.
Yo, you should.
my bad.
But, like, whatchamacallit, like, we breed football players, so that's what you're going to get on the court regardless. So it's, like, coming up here, like, y'all already knew, like, coming up here, I was already, like, strong, like, off rip. So, like, the strength wasn't, like, too much for me. Like, it was, like, I was already physical, ready strong, ready to take a hit. So, yeah. But, like, Dav, it's crazy because he's from Miami, and you see how you take a hit.
I mean, I guess you could say that, but, like, for me, it wasn't even necessarily that I couldn't, because the thing is, I am strong. It's just that I'm not used to, like, I remember the first time I came in for runs, like, this was even, like, when I came on my visit, like, getting to the rim, it's not necessarily as hard. It's just that I get bumped off my line, and I wasn't used to taking contact. So, like, it's not the same. Like, in high school, I could hit a pump fake and go to the lane and not get touched till I get to the rim. There's still secondary help, but nobody's, like, hitting you. I take 2 dribbles, I'm getting either bumped, or I either have to bump somebody or I'm getting bumped. So, like, I don't know. Maybe it's just, like, there's better help, or I don't know what it is.
Honestly, it's just something you got to learn, like, to play with. Honestly, being able to take kind of contact going to the rim, like, I struggled with it a little bit, like, my first year and probably my first 2 years, honestly. And then the last 2 years I played, I don't think I've really had, I guess, an issue with it. But honestly, it's just something you learn, like, getting bumped off your line and be able to kind of counter that, the people that bump you. I know Ace, we always talk about, like, kind of playing off contact, like, obviously. He posted this video the other day, like, this move. Yeah. That's something I've learned to, like, when it comes to, like, playing with contact and stuff. It's like a lot of people, especially I feel like at my size as a guard or a wing, I feel like when I get to that spin move, a lot of people can't really contest it as much, especially, like, some of the matchups I get, like, those guys aren't as tall as me, or they're not as athletic as me. So I think it's kind of easier to kind of use that move and kind of, score over people. Yeah. But honestly, it just comes down to, like, playing off of 2 feet, and it kind of gets cliche. Like, I feel like everybody hears that all the time growing up in high school and kind of AAU and stuff. You're just playing off of 2, but it really is valuable too as well.
Also, another thing I'll say, like, with physicality, is at the rim, it's like a whole different game. In my conference, I led the conference in blocks. Mind you, I had like a 7-footer in my conference, so it's not that it was crazy, but, like, it was really sweet in high school. Like, people just throw up anything. The amount of times I've gotten laid and dunked on this season is actually crazy. And that's just, like, I know he could attest to it, you could attest to it. I don't think you dunked on me. remember that.
Bro,
I don't remember that.
Bro, don't tell me the whole
I don't
thing.
remember that. I don't remember that. Only people
I'm
that I remember
gonna
dunking on me.
find it, bro. I'm gonna find
Only
it.
people I remember dunking on me is Zoo,
Kev.
Cab, the putback. That don't even count, bro. That don't even count.
That was a big head tap,
Bro, you could if he puts the clip in, bro, it's like you would see that like I'm standing there and it's a rebound coming down. Mind you, we're playing a drill and it's a one shot, so I'm not even going for the rebound. And bro comes in, takes his entire forearm and like boosts himself off my back and like gets a putback and then hangs on the rim, and then everybody want to start laughing.
Hey, but it happens, you know.
I
tried to dunk you one time. I was coming down the lane, but I was so tired. I can't wait.
You can't dunk on me. I promise you that.
Alrighty.
Next year,
I think the hardest person to try to dunk on
Stamp
the
it,
team.
it's recorded. I'm not getting dunked on at all during practice next year.
Alrighty. I'll put money on that. I think the hardest person to dunk on is probably Keith.
No, it's not.
Bro, no, he hit like.
Bro, I've tried like 4 times. Bro.
Every time I've gone up on Keith, like he always meets me, and it's like he would jump seconds after me and still like be in the air, like waiting. And you know my airtime is.
I haven't jumped with him. He hasn't jumped with me before.
That's why.
But like, cause he know he gonna get dunked on.
Nah, bro.
That's not true.
That's not true.
I don't think I've ever gotten dunked on a day in my life, bro.
Keith, your airtime is like looking crazy. Like it's like annoying. Like especially
I do the same thing though.
What?
The same thing.
No, but you're easy to dunk on. Like you're easy to catch slacking. Like him, he can literally jump.
No, it's because I jump at everything. I jump once when I'm not supposed to.
I guess.
It's whatever.
You do jump at a lot.
Exactly. That's why I get blocks.
You're dangerous. You're a dangerous player.
How am I dangerous?
Because you're like
you're a dangerous player.
No, I mean like you're dangerous because like you're like I don't care if I'm ESPN today. Like if you went to the league, like it'll be like they would know like he's probably gonna be ESPN tonight, getting dunked on.
Okay. Nah.
Anyways, let's move on. I know we talked about that a little bit, but let's move on to kind of transfer portal. It kind of goes off of what we're talking about, like the difference between high school and college. I think the transfer portal has kind of been a big part of college basketball and college sports in general for like the past however long it's been implemented, like 5 years or so. And I know, Josh, you kind of wanted to talk about it like a lot too. So what do you have to say about kind of transfer portal?
Number one thing I have to say, and first I'm just going to start with girls basketball because, like, you know, LSU, like, their team, I'm not saying that they're unbeatable because there's other squads who have, like, testing them, but you know how in the NBA they have super teams and stuff? I feel like that's where college basketball is going because as a player, why sit and wait? And especially if you're, close to the end of your career, if you're, let's say you're a senior or you're a fifth year, why stay at a school when they're losing when you can go to a winning program with a bunch of other guys who are good and go and make a run in the tournament. And we see that, like, especially in our conference, we've played, like, Rowan, Widener, who they all do that. They all have fifth years who come from, they get them from, like, Yucatan, and they all hop on one team, and they're all supposed to be good. Why are you staring like that? I'm just saying, bro, I'm being real. Rowan, none of their players were there before.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even know if they recruit anymore, like, freshmen, because they just get a bunch of old guys.
And that's what I was going to say about the transfer portal. Like, it makes it so hard for high school players.
Mm-hmm.
Like I know some of my homeboys, they play football. Like, a lot of coaches, they told them, oh, we're trying to wait to see if he enters the transfer portal before we really get at you. And it's just like, it makes it so difficult for, like, people trying to come out of come out of high school, you know what I'm saying? Knowing that they can hoop. And if you're not, like you said earlier, if you're not a 5-star, if you're not, like,
developed already,
yeah,
then, like, they're not really going to take a chance on you because why do that when you can get, let's say, like a sophomore or junior who's already played, who's already been tested, you know that they can produce, and you're just going to bring them in. They're automatically going to be implemented.
And it's like, to me, it's like, that's what the whole point of college is, like, to get there and develop. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're looking for NBA players already, and it's just like, that's the point of being a freshman, to get here and develop and get better, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people just want to win now. Like, I'm a transfer, so I've been through that situation, kind of going through the whole process of kind of figuring the schools out and stuff, and, like, what's the best option for me. And honestly, what you talked about, Josh, it's like every coach that I can remember, they were like, well, we got this guy and this freshman that we're kind of holding off for a little bit just to see what you're going to do. So it was kind of not, I guess, putting a little bit of pressure on me myself just to make a decision. but I also had to obviously make the right one. Like, and like you said, nobody wants to really like sit and play out of school, or maybe they do. It all depends what you value, but nobody wants to sit and play out of school where you're not going to be winning anything. You're going to be a 5-win team or something like that for your whole career. So uh, that was my kind of motivation for transferring in the first place, is to find somewhere where I could win at, honestly, and obviously it worked out perfectly, as we all know. So I'm kind of grateful for the transfer portal, but I think it once this I think this next class, so my last year, I think after I'm done playing basketball, like college basketball, I think things will kind of go a little bit more to normal as far as the transfer portal. I don't think it's going to be too bad because there's not going to be a lot of grad students with that have this extra year eligibility. There's going to be people like you guys, everybody. It's going to be everybody else, really. There's not going to be like that COVID class. So COVID kind of messed everything up with the landscape of college basketball. But I think after this next year, I think everything's going to go back to normal.
I mean, I agree, but I kind of disagree with you because looking at the people who are in the transfer portal now, like, for example, just a couple of people that I know that are in the transfer portal right now. Derek Simpson, he's a starting point guard at Rutgers. Quadir Copeland, he's like a sophomore at Syracuse. And those are two, like, contributors, like big contributors to their teams who are looking. I'm not necessarily saying that like it's a bad decision for them to transfer because obviously like they want to go somewhere where they can play more and have a bigger role, but especially because for Rutgers they have two 5-star coming in, so like obviously he's going to be overshown. But like there's a lot of other players who were sophomores or juniors who are just like not necessarily that they don't want to build like a winning culture, but like they just leave. And for me especially, because in high school I was in a similar situation. It was a winning team, but like I wouldn't have as big of a role as I wanted, and I was planning on transferring. I had a bunch of schools lined up, and I ended up just staying. And I ended up having a really great season my senior year, and I just stuck it out. And I feel like honestly, not necessarily it's a bad thing, but I feel like it builds character. If I'm being 100% honest, like trying to stay through a situation, because now you got kids who are in high school, like that's what I'm saying. The culture is like it's kind of changing. You got kids who are in high school. Nobody wants to be a hometown hero. If you're a 5-star, you're going to Mount Bird, or you're going to Florida or some other place. You're not staying home. Like I feel like gone are the days where you have a packed out gym in your hometown. Everybody knows you, yada yada yada. But now I'd rather go to Cali. I'd rather go to Florida. I'd rather play with Mount Bird. Be on a national schedule. You're playing better comp, but like I feel like I don't know. I guess you're seeking out better competition, but you're also losing the culture.
And Gilbert Arenas he has kind of a great perspective on that situation as well. So I think if you know his son Elijah, yeah, like he plays in Division 4 for like California, and it's like a pretty low, not a pretty low level, but I'm pretty sure there's probably still good hoopers there, but as far as like he's not playing like Sierra Canyons and like Mater Days and stuff like that, and he's kind of on his own team, scoring 40, 50 points a game, averaging 30-some points a game. And his dad's reason is just because, well, basically he thinks it's going to be easier for him to kind of come back into kind of playing a role instead of trying to figure out how to be a star player later on, where you have to carry a team and be a number one option. So, I mean, it's kind of contrary to the popular belief, but I feel like it looks like it's working right now, but we won't know until it gets to the next level.
I feel like I kind of got something to say in that because like I don't think y'all noticed, but I went to 5 high schools.
Oh damn! I'm sorry.
T.R. Johnson.
T.R. Johnson is crazy.
Nah, but it's not like it wasn't like dang I don't like this school, let me try. It was like situations that happened like COVID year, my sophomore year, like. Literally, I'm going to say like 2 weeks before the season started, my head coach passed away. And then his son took over and a bunch of stuff went down with that, but it wasn't right. So then the year after that, I went to a charter school. Should have never went there. That was really bad. Like it was like it would have been cool to stay there if we played real teams, but the teams we played, like you would have thought we were playing like in a like church league almost. Like people that was just like, oh, we need a team just playing a basketball team. It doesn't really matter. It was bad. Like the teams we were playing were, one game was probably like 120 to like 30. You know what I'm saying? So you're not getting nothing with that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You can't even build film. Then the coaches watch your film. Now it's like, but you're playing the team and you're about 100. You know what I'm saying? It's like, so had to get out of there. Then my senior year, it was cool, but just like our coaches now, they don't think that was the best situation for me. You know what I'm saying? But like, it's just like, I feel like sometimes with transferring or going to other schools or whatever, it's about situations. It's not always like, oh, I want to go play with this team because they're better. It's like, will this be the better situation for me? Like how you said Montverde, like, oh, the 5 stars want to go to Montverde or whatever. Like I know Scotty Barnes, some coach had told me about Scotty Barnes, that the reason he went to Montverde because it's like another college. So you get there and like your whole mindset low-key changes like into another, it's almost like a prep school but a high school in a way, you know what I'm saying? So like it's not always like, oh, I'm just transferring so I can go be with the best team. You're transferring to become the best basketball player that you can be. You feel me?
Yeah, so basically what you're saying is like almost kind of trained to be a pro in high school, basically.
Yeah.
So when you get to that next level, it's like,
Nice.
well, I've been doing this since I was 15, 16 years old. So now when I'm 21 and I'm playing in the NBA or I'm playing high-level Division I basketball, it's like second nature.
Yeah. I went to a couple showcases where I played Montverde players, and you would never see them like on film because they don't play. And you would think, oh, they suck, but they don't. It's just like how what you said about like college players, like from top bottom to top down, like everybody on the roster is good. Like in Montverde, everybody on that roster is tough. There's no like dead weight on that roster. You know what I'm saying? It's like, so like people going there to sit on the bench, but they're developing in basketball players and getting better, you know?
I feel like number one thing that I like learned in high school, especially because one, like in my younger years, let's say like 9th grade, like coming into high school, I wasn't that great, if I'm being 100% honest. And I developed a lot, just not necessarily just by sitting on the bench, but like by just playing no matter where I was. And I feel like one thing a coach told me that I never forgot was, if you're good, a coach gonna find you wherever you are. And you said like your film, you would like be up by 100, but like if you're getting buckets, you're getting buckets. I played on a horrible AAU team.
Yeah.
High school, my highlights really weren't that hot, but I went into the season and off season I worked my butt off and I tried as hard as possible. I did everything I could, and season came, I performed, and coaches found me. I didn't think I was gonna have any offers. Within the last month of the season, I picked up 5, 6, 7 offers just off me just hooping in the playoffs. So I'm not saying that I understand the situations. Like sometimes you, like what you said, like your coach down. Like there's nothing you could do to control that. And my coach wasn't too hot in high school either. But I feel like doing that now, it helps me like build character. Because if I didn't go through that, now that I'm in college and I'm sitting on the bench, I'm not gonna lie, I probably would have crashed out if I didn't. You know what I'm saying? Because that's the difference between some like I'm not gonna name any people, but like some people wouldn't be able to do what we did this year, sit on the bench, clap for your teammates, be a good teammate. And I understand like
that was,
but like that prepared me for this, because all the way up to my junior year, I sat on the bench on the team that I should have been playing on. I wasn't that hot, but I was better than some players that were playing ahead of me. And I came my senior year, my coach is on my butt every single time, like for little things. My ceiling was so much higher than like the position they put me in, but I still like, against all odds. I understand like some people's situations, but like I had a kid that went to my old high school asked, like, just DM me and asked me about like what he wants to do for college. And number one thing I said to him is, number one thing you should be focused on is getting better, because like everything else really doesn't matter. Because if you go hoop, like Elijah Arenas for example, you could hoop, coach is gonna find you. It doesn't really matter where you play. You could be on a doo-doo AAU team, you could be playing at the park, bro. Trust me, one person gonna walk up to you and be like, yo, slide some, bro. You know how many times that's happened to me, where like I've met a coach just because like I was at a park or like there was like some event and I'm throwing down windmills, and they're seeing me and they're like, oh, he could hoop, like let me see what he's about. And that's all really it takes, like one little opportunity, and you gonna get it if you keep working. But I feel like now, especially like Philly in this area around here, like kids transfer for nothing, bruh. Like my coach yelled at me, I'm leaving, and it's that simple. The thing is, the parents is really the problem because they the ones that is allowing this to happen because your parents had to be on board for you to transfer.
Yeah.
My senior year, I had a kid. He came from Roman Catholic. His dad literally bought an apartment in our town just for him to come play at Cherry Hill, like at my high school. And I'm looking like I had so many opportunities to like play at different schools, but like it just wasn't in the cards for me because I didn't have the money. But then you have somebody who has that opportunity and they don't like their coach or they don't want to get better. They have people who are playing ahead of them, and instead of going to go work, mind you, they put themselves in that situation. Instead of putting their head down and working, they dad's gonna buy an apartment in my town just for them to play. So I mean, I don't know. It's kind of crazy.
All right, we're back. Kind of talk about the transfer portal a little bit, obviously. So moving on, do you want to talk about reclass or the?
Just real quick, I just want to touch on it. Also, reclasses. I actually want to get y'all opinions, like, on what you think about it, because I feel like for me, it's not necessarily that I've always looked down upon it, because I feel like, why do I have to play with people who are younger than me if I know like I could hoop? If like I said, like
that was my whole thing. I never like me and my parents, like we never messed with the idea of reclassing like that. We always thought of it like, why? Like so you could look better than other people. Like my I know people that transferred. I mean that not transferred, reclass. They said they do it so they have another year to develop. But it's just like I don't know. It's like you have the summer for that, and it's like the summer, like them 2 months, you can get crazy progress in 2 months. Like
one thing I'm gonna say about development is I feel like kids nowadays they don't necessarily understand what it is because you don't need a coach. You don't need. All you need is really a ball. If I'm being 100% honest, because half of the time I did that. I had bounced around with coaches, but like if we're being 100% honest, you don't need to play person who's a whole year younger than you just for you to realize that like I could hoop. If I'm being 100% honest, like I understand this development. You could reclass and not play basketball that year and work on like your stuff. But like if you're reclassing for the sole purpose that hey like I know there's certain situations like for example Elliot Cadeau, he got hurt I think like his like going into his like freshman year or something, so like he reclassed. And like a bunch of people like clowned him because they say he was old, this, and that. And then he ended up reclassing back. And I feel like that kind of just shows that like he knows he can hoop. That's not the reason why. And then you have other people who, I know some people, especially that, no, you're not going to see it because you go to my high school, there's this kid named Jacob Jones, and he's like 5'4", 5'5". He's short. Mind you, he's like highly skilled guard. He starts now for us. But the thing about him is that like he's reclassed and he's basically almost my age, and he's about to be a junior or senior in high school like this upcoming year. And I'm like, I understand what the goal of it is, like for you to like maybe get better, but I don't know what kind of development you're gonna have in that year or two that's gonna make you different. Because it's not like you're going in there and you're scoring 30 points. You putting up the damn near the same numbers. So what's the point?
Yeah, I remember Kyrie Walker.
Yeah.
Like, if I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure he took off a year of high school ball and travel ball to strictly just work on his game. I
feel like that was to his detriment, though.
Was it high school or college?
He took a gap year before college.
Yeah, and it was straight to, like, working his game. And, like, I feel like
he fell off the map, though. That's what messed him up.
That is, but it's like, I feel like that's better than reclassing. Yeah. Like, I'd rather just take that year off and then work on my game completely.
Yeah, I mean, I thought about reclassing, honestly. And it was kind of because that I graduated early, so I'm actually I graduated high school. I was like 17, and I didn't turn 18 until I got to college, and we were on winter break. So because my birthday's in December, so I graduated. I was 17, graduated a year early, and I thought about kind of reclass, but it would kind of just be me going back to my regular grade. And I thought about it, and the reason why I didn't, honestly, is just because I didn't really know too much about it. So, like, me and my family didn't know, like, the process of how it worked. And never did it, and it kind of worked out because I went to college and got the extra basically that first year was like my reclass year for me. I got to play college basketball. It doesn't really count towards my eligibility. So that was like the perfect situation. And so I never really had a need for it now. And then now we're here. So yeah, I mean, it all depends on the situation though, because I know people who reclassed, and then kind of like what you said, they reclass and then they reclass back, and then now they're playing at college somewhere, maybe redshirting. So it's even like the reclass didn't even matter. Um, so it all just depends on the situation. But I think just in general, like reclassing just to reclass doesn't really make sense either. So
Yeah.
and then something else, kind of moving away from the scope of high school and college basketball, moving on to the NBA. If you guys have been kind of watching or keeping up with the NBA or NBA news in the media for the past probably 2 weeks or so, there's been a new trend where kind of the name of the trend is "We Done with the '90s." So people will go in. There was a video. I forget who makes the video, but there's a video where he's like, "Oh, we done with the '80s. We done with the '90s." He's talking about how trash or how bad those players in the '90s were, the '80s and '90s. And I think the funniest part for me, which it isn't true, but it was when there was one part, and I forget what video it was, but he was like, "Man, look at Jordan. He's a right-handed bandit."
Done with the '80s. After Larry Bird do this big trash move, watch Jordan pick it up. Ain't got no left hand. Gonna go left. Watch this. Smoke the layup. That's garbage. Here we go. This the very next play down. Again, Jordan is a right-handed bandit. He won't use his left for nothing.
Bruh. That was funny to me, but I wanted to get your thoughts on that as well. Like, do you think there's any truth to kind of the whole "we done with the '90s" thing?
Low key, cause like I haven't seen the video, but like I keep seeing like the "done with the '90s." I just see like it's under a lot of captions, and I can't remember who posted it. It was either like Sports Center or something, or maybe some troll page, but they had posted Jalen Green crazy lay or something, and they put in the caption, "This would have been Jordan's best highlight."
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm looking at it, I'm like, dang, like that's true though. Like if Jordan would have done something like that, I'm like, it low key would have been like something like, nah, that's crazy.
I feel like for me, all right, so I completely agree also, but there's like two sides to it though, because like if you think about it, the skill level wasn't there yet. So like, for example, if you was in the 80s or the 90s, you walk around with a MacBook, they're gonna be like, oh my god, it's doing magic. It's because we progressed as like a society, I guess, like, and skill wise, I feel like you can't really say that necessarily. Like, I feel like when you're comparing players, that's where it comes into effect though, because like you can say LeBron doesn't have a bag, but if you drop LeBron in Jordan's era, he's averaging 50, like hands down. And you could say physicality, you could say anything. His skill level was way higher than people who were not only his size, but like even guards who were playing 20, 30 years ago. So you can't really make that comparison.
And in Jordan's era, nobody really had like a 3-ball for real. Like
Exactly.
everything was like mid-range, and like, I remember one of my coaches used to tell me like that's probably one of the hardest shots in our game is a mid-range jump shot. It's because nobody works on it. Everybody is mostly like outside threes, and even having a meeting with our coaches, they told me like stop working on threes. They said like working in mid-range, and it's like dang, like I'm thinking about it, I'm like every workout I do, I never like think about, oh, let me get some mid-range shots, maybe like for a warm-up, but like mostly when I'm pulling up or something, it's mostly like all threes. And it's like it's true, because like that's all you want to work on, because that's the big player, like more shots, you know what I'm saying, more points.
Yeah. Tell me about my fault. Before I came here, bro, I seen a TikTok with, they put a video they put like highlight clips of Hansel Emmanuel and MJ and who else was it? And Jaylen Brown.
Yeah.
You seen it?
Yeah.
It's funny.
But I think the whole concept of "we done with the '90s" is not even, maybe it is to discredit the '90s a little bit. Maybe it is from like fans of the modern NBA and kind of maybe even LeBron fans as well. But I think the whole basis of it, like the baseline of it, is kind of kind of retaliation in a way to the old heads who are like,
I was about to say
oh,
that.
today's game isn't as good as it was back in the
Soft.
day. They're soft. It's not physical. They don't play any defense. And I think going back and kind of looking at it is kind of retaliation to kind of say, well, we go and watch your highlights or the clips of your games, and it's like,
It's plumbers.
yeah. But also you got to take into account like the game in the 80s and 90s. It wasn't there. I feel like the rules were a little different as well. Like I don't know if we can go back to the 90s and watch any guy do a tween cross to behind the back and do a step back jumper from the three.
Yeah.
Like that won't happen. They'll probably call a carry, they'll probably call a double dribble, they'll probably call a travel all before a guy can even get a shot up. So I think the rules a little bit kind of play into that as well. But I also think that it is a little true too, because I think the average role player back then versus the average role player right now, the average role player right now is probably 10 times better than the average role player back then.
Yeah.
Like, I don't name a random role player from the 90s and name a random role player from today's game, and I bet you if they played ones, I bet you the guy from today is probably gonna smoke that dude. Like, you know what I mean? So I think kind of goes both ways, but there's a bit of truth to it, but also it is kind of a little like inflated as well.
I don't know how it was coming in, like how it was going into the 90s. Like if they like knew they were role players and still drafted them, then how we are like nowadays, like mostly like they can get a bucket, they're still getting drafted, and depending how you do like during your season, whatever that depends if you're a role player or not. Like if y'all ever seen like Draymond during his summer league, like during his summer league debut,
I feel like
he
I understand what
was
you're trying to
crazy.
say, but I feel like even then and now, everybody was considered a star from like their own walk of life. So you can't really say that they knew that.
Yeah.
Because nobody's. I'm not saying, as a GM, why would you draft a role player when you could draft a guy who could do everything? So I feel like that's a reason why a lot of players like nowadays, you would think that they have like great college careers, but like it just wouldn't translate. Because not necessarily because they're not stars, but like I feel like the NBA is 4 stars. Like if I'm being 100% honest, overseas basketball and like basketball in Europe is like way more basketball than the NBA is. The NBA is kind of like, I'm not saying it's a show, but like it's more like
It
entertainment.
definitely is.
Yeah.
I remember my coach, they always tell me, they said never watch the NBA, like always watch college ball, like overseas, because like it's not real basketball. If you know what I'm saying, it is real basketball, but like they say it's not, you can't really learn from it, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because I feel like when you get to the NBA, there's so much that's just like innate ability that you've kind of learned, and obviously you're a professional at it. Like I was watching LeBron and JJ Redick talk about basketball on their last podcast that they did. I think today's Thursday. Yeah, I think it came out Tuesday, and they were talking about like simple stuff that I feel like as basketball players we would know. Like they were talking about, oh, if you come off a pin down screen, there's only a few things that the help side big can do, which is either step up and you have a pocket pass, or he has to stay and drop and you have a 3-pointer. So like stuff like that, small stuff like that, which I feel like we've kind of learned. I feel like the average NBA fan, and this isn't to sound I guess kind of better than any other fan, but I feel like NBA fans, they don't really understand the game from a basketball perspective. They just understand it from kind of an entertainment perspective. So it's a little different for them to kind of know the game than it is for like someone who's played in college. You know what I mean? All right, so we're kind of not saying we're getting to the end. We're kind of getting to the end here, but with every podcast episode, I like to have at least a little bit of music aspect to it. So we're gonna move on to the next topic where we talk about the best music genre, and then we'll go from there.
So, bro, best music genre?
Yeah.
It's definitely like R&B, like yeah, like
I agree. I feel like if you would have asked me like 2 years ago, I would have been like rap, hands down. But like, it's not even like, or not even rap, like hip hop, I guess, because I feel like upbeat music, everybody like, especially when you're younger, like, or at least when I was younger, like I didn't listen to any R&B artists. Like I had like my mom would play something in the car or something like that, and I'll listen to that, and I'll be like, okay, it's alright. But like now that I feel like I'm older, honestly, I feel like I appreciate R&B a lot more because I feel like it's something you can listen to every day. Like rap it's like here and there, yeah.
You
But like,
gotta be in the mood for it. I feel.
mhm.
I mean, but it's like it's people that's always in the mood to listen to rap music. Like everybody, it's people that's always finna listen to Young Boy like from sun up sundown.
But I feel like when it comes to Young Boy, I don't know. A lot of people like they swear he's just like straight rap, but like he makes slower music too.
Yeah, I know. I'm
Here we go, right? And you gonna bring up the Rod Wave conversation?
Yeah, it's trash.
I already know you about to say that.
It was trash.
You said Rod Wave what?
He ain't trash, but y'all be acting like Rod Wave is the GOAT, bro. He ain't the GOAT. Like,
He never said he the GOAT, but you can't say his music is bad.
Bro, it's like Rod Wave. I feel like so many people love him because like you could like they could relate to him in a way. You know what I'm
He
saying?
swear like.
but y'all be like
you
turning
be
up,
your
like
bag.
we be in Lyft, and y'all turning up the Rod Wave, and he's singing a sad song like he sounds
Bro,
like
you
everybody
can turn
start
up to
crying.
Mozart, bro. You can turn up to whatever
Okay.
you want to, bro. It honestly depends on like
So when you
how
tell
you
me
interpret it.
you hear Great Gatsby, you don't start getting lit.
I don't even know how that song sounds.
Through
I
the
ain't gonna
party
lie.
of the century.
It's chill. It's chill. Like it ain't gonna win. It ain't gonna win a Grammy. Like, you know what I mean? But it's
I don't feel
chill.
like Rod Wave could win Grammy.
Yeah,
Honestly,
nah.
I don't think his audience is big enough.
There's certain rappers, like, I don't think they'll ever reach that Grammy status, no matter how good they get. But you guys kind of do bring up a great point about R&B kind of being the best genre, and I feel like I agree a little bit, but I also feel like saying that my I guess my reason is a little different. Like, I feel like R&B, there's a lot more R&B music that you can dive into than there is rap, and part of that is because honestly R&B kind of goes back to soul music in the 60s and 70s and even the 50s. So there's a lot of more history with R&B music, which leads to today where they have probably like 80 so years of R&B type music versus like rap music is probably at like 40, 50 years. I think actually they just had their 50th anniversary of hip hop, so it's probably like 50 years for rap. So there's 30 more years of music, which means there's a lot more music to dive into than there is for rap music. But I also feel like rap music, saying that rap music is it is still a genre where there's still a lot of music that you can get into that might not be like typical, like what people would think of as typical rap music, you know what I mean?
I feel like when it comes to rap, I feel like at least now it's just more of a trend, and I feel like if that's the right word, like for example, like drill music, I feel that's a perfect example because like New York, there used to be like
all their
different.
music sounds the same. All their music sounds.
It's not even that. It's just that I feel like once somebody finds a particular sound, I feel like now we're in the age of like where everybody's a copycat. Like there's like for example, who's good like Pop Smoke? He's the one that started. I'm not saying he started drill music, but like he's the one that really blew it up. Like that's where it went outside of New York, and then soon after rappers. I'm not saying Fabio Foreign wasn't already like a big artist, but like rappers like Favi. Like I guess and Dusty Locane, they all like piggybacked off his sound, and basically that entire drill community just like blew up completely. Now you have Didi Osama, you have all these other rappers who basically just like, I'm not saying they copied the sound because they're not the same thing, but they like kind of paved the way for them. And now there's Ice Spices, I'm not saying that the music is bad, but like at the same time it's all the same thing, just a different person saying the same thing. There's no meaning behind the music, if I'm being 100% honest. Like, it's drugs, gang, killing people, yada, yada, yada. And I feel like that's the reason why I like R&B now, because I feel like there's more of a message behind it than, like, you just flexing about something or you saying you get girls or a female being promiscuous. Like, I feel like there's a lot more, like, depth to it.
That's a big word for Elmo. Hold on. What'd you say?
Huh?
Promiscuous? You don't know what that means, bro?
You want me to spell it?
No, just...
You even know how to spell it, bro?
No. It basically means that like they like being like, I don't know, like advertising their body. Basically.
Yeah. You never heard Promiscuous by Nelly Furtado, bro?
No, bro.
Promiscuous girl. You never heard that song, bro?
Yeah, I heard it, but like that doesn't mean like that isn't like.
I feel like it kind of explains it. You probably too young to know about that. That ain't your time, little bro.
Bro, he listens to more old music than I do, so I'm surprised you don't know what that
I really
is.
do. Like,
but yeah, you bring up a great point about how I think for me it kind of makes it seem like rap rap music today is kind of like the popular music. Like it's kind of like pop music. Like if we go back, I don't know how long, but if we go back to 10, 20 years, where like people were like, oh, I don't listen to this pop artist like Justin Bieber. I don't listen to Justin Bieber. Like that's whack. Now people are saying that about like rap. I feel like in a way, like you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
So
I have to talk about Runway.
yeah. All right, bro. All right, little bro.
Yo.
Look. So, yeah. What was I saying? You just threw me off my train of thought. But I feel like rap is kind of looked at as like the popular music. So when people are like trying to expand their music taste, they kind of like when I've seen like TikToks where people are like, oh yeah, I don't listen to rap. Rap is boring now. Rap is played out. Well, if that's the only thing you listen to, obviously it's gonna be played out when you're listening to the same 5 artists every day.
Yeah.
When there's hundreds of thousands of rap artists, or at least thousands of good rap artists that you can probably listen to on a regular basis, but you only listen to Drake, or you only listen to Lil Baby, or you only listen to whoever you want to say. Not saying those rappers are bad, but if you listen to the same 2 or 3 rappers every day, of course it's going to get played out. Yeah. And then they go and look at, they go and find some weird alternative music that they got from TikTok, and now they're like, oh yeah, my music taste is so different. Like, little bro, you're not different, bro. You're not different. You're just trying to be different because you want to throw rap under the bus. And so I guess, I don't know. That's kind of how I feel about it.
One thing I would say, though, I feel like it's not necessarily that rap is bad. I feel like people just need to expand their music taste, if I'm being honest. Because for me, I'm not gonna lie, I used to listen to all rap. Like, you say that you don't like Young Boy, bro. That used to be me. Like, you could look through my playlist, bro. Like, it would just be all Young Boy. It would be all Young Boy. Who else is in there? G Herbo. Like, just like, I'm not saying that, like, those are bad rappers, because I still listen to them. But, like, I'm not saying that they're not bad. But, like, I feel like now, if I, like, go back 2 years, if you were to play like Brent Faiyaz or like Frank Ocean or like Giveon, bro, I'll be like, bro, what is this? Like, turn this off. And I'm not saying that the music is bad. It's just more, I feel like there's kind of a stigma surrounded like music. Like if you don't listen to what everybody else listens to, not even he's lame, like you're weird. Because I feel like even still to now, like I can't, if I'm in the car with my homies, I can't listen to like.
Hey, you did it the other day. Yeah, exactly. And I was like, why'd you turn that off? Yeah.
I think I was playing like Brent or something or like Giveon or something, and like. I'm not saying it's a bad song, but like if I'm in the car with my niggas, I'm playing some rap, I'm playing some like hard shit. I'm not playing like a cool song like that. Even though I listen to that like 90% of the time, in my ear right now, I have Brent playing in my ear right now. But like you would never guess that because I feel like it's kind of like a stigma. Like I'm 6'4" back and I play basketball. Why is Brent Faiyaz my favorite rapper? But if I said my favorite rapper is G Herbo, you'll be like, all right, yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
And it's funny because like. I'm always say like, oh, I don't really mess with Young Boy, but it's crazy because like I got like 15 of his songs in my playlist, and it's so weird to me.
I have a lot more than that.
I got 0, bro.
Bro, the thing is, I feel like you gotta give it a chance.
I feel like,
I promise you, like one of my like best friends, he's probably like Young Boy fan #1, and he's always been like, send me, oh, you gotta listen to this Young Boy song, or I'll tell him I listen to a Young Boy song, I'm like I gave it a chance, but it's like it was probably like a 4 out of 5.
But it's not
or
like
4 or 5 out of 10. You know what I mean?
The songs I got, it's not no like hard stuff. Like you know how he said he has soft music. Like it's low key soft music. It's like the song. Like I feel like you'll mess with his soft music, but like
how does everybody say that?
I feel like
everybody says that.
He's probably listening from like. I'll give you an example. Like, if I was to play a Young Boy song in front of my mom, she'll be like, bro, what is this? Like, and I'm not saying that you're acting like a mom, but I feel like from, like, a musical standpoint, you could probably say, yeah, Young Boy probably doesn't have the best music. Because, one, he doesn't speak English when he talks or when he sings. Yeah, exactly. It's kind of just, like, mashed all together. And you could say that I feel like you would be the type of person that, like, kind of like a Biggie song or something like that where, like, you can actually appreciate the lyrics and, like, what they're saying. But I feel like when it comes to him, I feel like the melodies and like the beats he used and like I guess kind of like the little whining / singing he does is kind of what like his sound. That's what makes his sound. It's not necessarily like what the music is actually like about. It's kind of more just the sound.
I mean, but you can't compare Biggie and
oh yeah, I know. They're two different. That's what I'm trying to say.
They're two different. They're just in like the king and like the dirt.
He gonna start glazing.
And I'm just saying like, it's Biggie. Like
I understand that, but Tupac's better.
What?
But we can get into that next time.
You don't want to step there with me, but
all right, bro. All right, so last topic of the day. Obviously, this has been an ongoing tradition on the podcast. Always like to do a song of the week. So basically, a song of the week is just picking a song that you've been listening to for this week that's been kind of just replaying on your playlist or just been coming up recently, or some song that you want to kind of put the masses onto. I don't know if I should go first or if you guys want to go ahead, but
Yeah, you can go first. Yes, sure.
all right, let's see. I'll start off with an entire album. So, my most listened to artist for the past 2 years has been Tony Snow. He's been one of my favorite artists to listen to for like the past couple years. A couple weeks ago, he just dropped an album. It's called Out the Woods, and I've really messed with the album a little bit. I got probably like most of the album on my library, but the song that I'll point out the most is Mine of the Crook. That's probably been my most played song probably the past couple weeks. So that's my song of the week.
So like AC/DC, right? So like
Yeah.
their song "Shoot to Thrill," like you know that song.
I'm not sure if I heard of it, but it sounds familiar.
Bro,
I'm not like a big rock guy, but
I'm not either, but it's crazy because like I like y'all know how like Iron Man or whatever he listens to like that type of music, and it's like I love Marvel, and I'm like hearing it in the background, I'm like, yo, this is low key hard. And then I started listening to more of the music, and I heard like "Shoot to Thrill." I'm like, yo, I mess with this, but no, it's like it's different, but it's like I've listened to it like for a couple.
I like rock music, bro.
Couple weeks.
I got actually I just got a vinyl this past Monday. It's In Search of by Nerd, and that's like it's like a rock album, but
yeah.
Since it's Nerd, people might think of it more as like hip hop, but it's definitely rock. But I get it. Like, I watched this. There was this edit. I'm a big wrestling fan, so there was this edit of, I think it was like a promotional edit for Stone Cold Steve Austin and The Rock at WrestleMania, and they had this one song. It was by Saliva. I'm forgetting the name, but that's like one of my favorite rock songs now because it just reminds me of that. So, but I mean, rock is a good genre. You just gotta get into it if you want.
You have to have an ear for it. I feel.
I feel like if I'm open to it, I could, because I said the same thing about country, and then I'm not gonna lie, Loki started growing me.
Oh yeah, nah, you're tweaking country.
Okay.
Is bad.
Here
That's
we
bad.
go.
That's bad music, bro.
What's
That's bad
the-
music.
Can
bro.
I go to my song now? Because y'all had your turn.
Yeah, go ahead.
So I'm not gonna lie, you said album, and then Loki brought one up to me, but I'm not gonna say the whole album. There's just a song that I just figured out was on the album. I feel like this album, there's so many good songs that I didn't know about, and they just keep on popping up. You also might call me weird for this, but Free My Man's Tory, Playboy, the album. I'm not gonna lie, like I don't know what to say about it if I'm being honest, but like the song I was listening to like just yesterday that like I don't know where I found it. I think it was on TikTok. Is like YDLR, and I feel like that's a really good song. And then also another song by Drake I've listened to a lot lately. What is it? Redemption. That one's been replaying a lot. So yeah.
All right, that's all we got for this episode. Appreciate you guys for coming out and kind of joining me on the podcast. Try to see if we can get you guys on another episode. We'll see about that. But stay tuned. Got more stuff coming. So follow the Instagram, follow the TikTok, follow the Twitter. Everything is at EverythingXPod. So follow us there. Be sure to like, share, subscribe if you like this video. And I'll see you next time. Peace.